Have you ever spent time on a design for your store and then when you try to sell it, no one buys? And you're left thinking, what am I doing wrong? If that's something you've thought of before, then you're definitely going to get something out of this video because I'm going to be showing you 5 examples of a winning design versus a design that's probably not going to sell. And here's our first 2. You can see on the bottom it says Canvas A and Canvas B. As we go through each of these designs today, I will be lettering them. Let me know down in the comments of this video as you're watching which one you think is the better one. Now obviously both of these designs here are for the lake life niche. They're for people that have a house on the lake or just like going to the lake or something like that. The one on the right is a design that I see a lot of beginners try to emulate. Essentially they are just taking a photo of something to do with the niche and they are just adding it into their canvas. In most cases that's not going to be enough to get people actually excited enough to make a purchase. And now let's take a look at the one on the left. You can see here that not only does it have personalization on it where someone can add their last name, the lake that they live on, the state that they're in, and even the year that they moved there, but it also has an effect in the background. You can see that they have made this canvas look like it is wood. It is actually not wood. It is just a regular canvas and it's printed to make it look like it is wood. Here is the store here that is actually selling it. And you can see as we kind of click through the mock-ups here that this is a much more tasteful design, right? It's going to really appeal to people because it's going to be something that has style, it has character. If you're just doing something like this, which is just a photo on a canvas, it's not going to get people as excited as something like this here. So I guess the tip would be if you're creating canvases, like think about how you can utilize the actual product to make it more tasteful, adding a background to it or something like that compared to just uploading a photo to the canvas might actually result in more sales. Here's our second design. This is a hooded blanket. We have 2 here for the baseball niche, and obviously this would be something that maybe a mom could wear to the game, right? When she's going to the baseball field to watch her kids play, this could be something that she wears. Now, obviously, when we look at these 2 designs, they're both quite simple. Now, the one on the left, what they've done is essentially just taken a t-shirt design and thrown it on the blanket. I hear questions a lot from people where they say, Joe, if I have a t-shirt design that is awesome, can I just throw that on any product I want? And while you could do that, a lot of times the results might not be great because you're left with something like we see here where it's just a white blanket with a random quote on it. You can see the one on the right, the background, they've made it look like a baseball, right? Even though it just has the child's name there and it's relatively simple, the blanket looks like a baseball. And that right there alone in the design makes it much better than the one on the left. Before I show you the next design, if you're getting something out of these videos, make sure to drop a like on them. That helps them to be shown to more people here on YouTube. There might be someone out there that is trying to sell their designs and maybe they can get some help from this video. And also, if you're building your store and you want some help, I have a free course. It has over 20 step-by-step videos to show you how to build your store, how to run Facebook ads, and more. The link is down in the description. Here's our next design here. We have a hoodie, right, for the motorcycle niche. You can see the one on the left, again, is just a pretty basic design. I call this the stacked quote, where it's basically a couple of different fonts, a quote stacked from top to bottom with some clip art type icons thrown throughout it. This is a very common design style that a lot of people still think is a good idea in the year 2022. This is something that was done when print on demand was brand new. I'm talking back in like 2015, 2016, maybe 2017, where people were creating a bunch of different designs like this with a bunch of random quotes, and they were doing okay because print on demand was new and people really hadn't seen this stuff before. But nowadays, this is honestly just a little bit too basic. In my experience, I haven't really seen these types of designs take off lately. You would be much better off doing something like the design that is on the right. You can see that they still have the quote. They still have the image of the person on the motorcycle right smack dab in the chest area of the hoodie, just like the one on the left. But they've chosen an all-over printed hoodie, which is going to be a better product because you're going to be able to add more printing to the sleeves, to the upper chest, even to the front pocket. You can make this hoodie super stylish, and overall it's going to get people much more excited about it and will result in more sales. What's cool about the all over printed hoodie as well is you can print on the back. Here is the store where they actually have another design on the back. So essentially they're taking like two designs that you would normally see just slapped on the front of hoodies or the front of t-shirts, and they've added one to the back here to create an overall super tasteful design. I think this hoodie is awesome, even just down to the texture that they have here on the sleeves, dividing the red and the black color. Super well done, and really just a perfect example of how you can take a product and a design to the next level when you think outside the box. Here's our next design. The one on the right these are both for the teacher niche, obviously. The one on the right is just a black blanket, and again, it has that t-shirt looking design style just kind of thrown on it, right? It's a quote. It says, "It takes heart to be a teacher." Here is the blanket on their store. I'll kind of just click through some of the product images that they have. And again, it's super basic. It's just a quote thrown on a black blanket, right? And at the end of the day, is this going to be something that's going to get someone excited? Probably not. Like, maybe it would get a lot of likes on Facebook or on Instagram because people like the quote, but it's honestly not a very nice blanket. Like, would someone actually want to have this blanket in their house, right? It's just a black blanket with quotes. You would be much better off creating something like this. Essentially, they have turned this blanket into what looks like a quilt, right? They've got all these different designs around it. They've got a focal quote in the middle, and overall, this blanket is a much better executed design than the other version, which is just a design thrown on a black blanket. Now, here's our last example here, and this one here is probably one of the most important because I see so many people that are starting print on demand and they are making this mistake here. The design on the left, right? It is something that is just abstract. There is no niche here. If you think back throughout this video, all the products that we've looked at, regardless of how well the designs were made, they still represented an actual niche. This one here on the left doesn't represent a niche. They've essentially just decided that they want to sell leggings with random abstract designs on them. They want to essentially try to compete with Nike or Lululemon, and honestly, that's not a great strategy. In order to succeed with print on demand, one of the biggest things you have to do is make sure that you have a great niche, because that's what's going to get people interested in your stuff. If we compare this to the design on the right, leggings B, you can see that it is still a pattern, right? Throughout the entire legging, there is a pattern there. However, there is an underlying niche here. This is being sold to someone who likes horses, or someone who likes dream catchers, or even someone who is a Native American. They have a solid niche here. They've also executed the pattern quite well, and they've done a much better job than the one on the left. So how did you guys do? As we were going through, were you able to sort of pick up on some of the things that I said about each design before I even said it? If so, great, right? If you're someone that got something out of this video, hopefully you can look at your designs with a realistic eye. Sometimes I think what happens is when we create something, we get like really in love with it, right? Like we look at our stuff like we kind of view our own children, right? Where we view our kids as perfect, right? And don't get me wrong, kids, my kids are perfect, right? I look at them as perfect. However, with your print-on-demand designs, you really can't do that. You have to look at them objectively. And if you're doing some of the things that I showed you today in terms of the bad designs, there's really not going to be much surprise on my end when you don't make a lot of sales. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like. Maybe in the future I can find 5 more designs and do a little comparison video, like a part 2 or something like that. But hopefully you did enjoy the video, and that's it for today. I'll see you in the next